Hey, here's your heads up to this FMQ. It's all about when failure meets success. Have a listen after this warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
So when does failure become a success? And what I mean is, really a success. And one of my, like a side note of this, my meta view, is sometimes it's just the way we perceive things. And if we perceive things in a way that helps us learn, then we can look at what some people might perceive as failures as being something of a resounding success. You see, I overheard this. I do a lot of overhearing. And it was said, the secret of success is not always in the outcome, which is, to me, suddenly made my ears prick up, but in the standards of effort. I'll read it all in one go now. The secret of success is not always in the outcome, but in the standards of effort. That got me really thinking. What did that all mean? Because, in some ways, NLP and what we do is outcome driven. But how we perceive that outcome, our success in achieving that outcome, or what we actually did achieve. You see, the example was Martin Luther King. Was Martin Luther King a success? Now, some people would say a resounding success. Yet, in reality, whilst that man left the most wonderful legacy, set so many people on the right path, he was killed. Killed way before his time. Well, anybody killed is obviously before their time. But, there's a big but. What was his effort and the standard of his effort? It's got to be immense, hasn't it? Got to be really immense because of the legacy that he left, the things that he changed. Those ripples of change were bloody tidal waves. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. So that's where that success comes from, I think. It's all about that standard of effort. And that little thing really brought it home to me. You see, there's a presupposition in NLP, which are just useful things to hold in mind, basically. Useful beliefs or things to hold in mind. There's no such thing as failure. No such thing. It's just the results you get. No such thing as failure. Now, most things come from failure. That's the other thing to look at. When we really look at these things, perceiving failures, if the person who had invented the post-it note had seen their failure, which was to create a glue that actually stuck, but actually created a glue that you could use over and over again, suddenly became, how many people, the word post-it note is universal now. That yellow square, and they now do them in different shapes and sizes and colours, and you can put them in books because they don't stick to the page, they just adhere. What a wonderful failure that was. What else is there? We've talked about safety, testing to failure in order to keep our lives safe. Everything that we use is generally tested to failure, because when we know what the failure is, we can then either know where the success lies or how to change things so we can create a success. Who was it who invented Edison? Edison. Supposedly, I think he invented the light bulb. But there's also a time, and the story goes, and I don't know how many times, there's lots of different stories about this, but so many times he learnt how not to produce electricity in a light bulb. That wasn't failure. It was just another outcome. So many things are created out of supposedly failures. But the effort the standard of effort to continue to hold that standard, to find the right thing, to ultimately create so many more successes than you actually set out to create. And I think that standard of effort is, we talked about it in one of the FMQs. The best version of ourselves, holding ourselves to that best version. Because when we're the best version, whatever we do will be a success. And if it isn't the success that we wanted, because we are in that best version of ourselves and view it from a different perspective, we'll see the result and be able to learn from it. If nothing else, we've learned from it, and learning is a success because now we have got more options and we can share those options and share those learnings. And that is success. And we've also just spoke a little while ago, or I did. We talk about celebration and celebrating those successes along the way. So now we're holding ourselves to that best version. We are applying the standards of effort and finding real and true success. And that's in then everything that we do. So we can just review those standards, can't we? How often do we do that though? Come on, let's be honest. How do we review ourselves? Generally on the negative, if we review ourselves at all. But if we hold ourselves to our best version and then hold our standard of effort in that review, looking for what we can learn, looking for what did happen, and viewing that as a success, and asking our question, and asking ourselves the question, how can I use this? How can I benefit from this? How can I learn from this? There's a myriad of wonderful positive questions you can ask when you're reviewing your results, because that's all they are, they're results. Because you see, all these wonderful, Martin Luther King was not an extraordinary man. Some people will think that. But he was just a man doing extraordinary things. And everyone that you see doing extraordinary things is just a person, a human being doing extraordinary things. How do they do extraordinary things? Because they held themselves to a high standard, to the best version of themselves, and put all that into the effort of achievement. So, when you think of an ordinary person, or just a person, a human being doing extraordinary things, look in the mirror, see yourself, and learn from it. There you go. That got quite serious, didn't it? Far too serious for Personal Development Unplugged, but it's something to think about. Even if you only just sit down for 5 minutes and review your thoughts. What can you learn from this? There you go. Let's just boost that up a bit, because think of your goals. Think of what you want to achieve, holding your best version, putting all the standards of effort into the highest standard. Guess what you're going to achieve? Something better than you can imagine. So let's start doing that as well, and celebrate and do all the things we've talked about. Create that world, create our environment that evolves with us as we truly evolve to a great standard that we're going to hold ourselves to. And when we do that, other people will hold themselves to a similar standard, because they'll want to be part of your success and be part of their success. So let's do that. Let's just encourage everyone to, enjoy every heartbeat, have more fun than they can stand, and leave everything and everyone they meet in a better place than when they first met them. Have fun. Enjoy. This is Paul Clough. Oh, more and more music comes in. As I always ask, hypnosis tracks, where are they? They're all at paulcloughonline.com/podcast. Get all the hypnosis tracks that are connected with this podcast. They're all free. All you have to do is sign up. It's all simples, because in genius there's simplicity, or in simplicity there's genius. Also, there's lots of other stuff on that site, paulcloughonline.com. Have a look round. Love it if you did. Love some feedback on it. There's also personaldevelopmentunplugged.com, where I show all these podcasts as well. But you also get these on your various platforms. I know you get them through things like Castbox, iTunes, wherever, Stitcher, all those wonderful places. Now, subscribe to those if you would, please, because when you subscribe, you don't have to worry about where is it. It'll come on your device on a Wednesday and a Saturday morning. They're all there for you, constantly. It'll be me knocking on your ears. And if you would, leave a lovely review. That would be great if you could. It's like paying it forward. If you get something out of this, please give a nice review. But also, if you get anything out of these podcasts, this podcast, all the other ones, please share it with anyone and everyone you know. Even share it with the people you don't know. There's lots of platforms you can just share it. Just throw it out there and just say, here's something you might learn from this. It might be interesting. Have a listen. Enjoy the heartbeat. There you go. I've said it again. There you go. That's what we do. I'm going to go now. I'm going to cool down and review my standard of effort. Hopefully you felt it was good enough. So it's bye-bye from me, Paul, your friend. Bye-bye now.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.